You've probably heard a million times that 8 hours is the magic number for a great night's sleep. But what if I told you that's not the whole story? We're about to get into the science of sleeping smarter, not just longer, and really unlock your brain's true potential. Okay, let's just get right into it, because this feeling is one of the most frustrating things ever, right? You do everything you're supposed to do, you clock in a full 8 hours, but you still wake up feeling completely groggy, like your brain is just stuck in mud. If that sounds familiar, you're about to find out exactly why that happens. And this slide right here perfectly captures the paradox we're talking about. I mean, how is it even possible that person A, after just 5 hours of sleep, feels amazing and ready to go, while person B is a total mess after a full 8? Well, the secret isn't in the quantity of their sleep. It's all about the quality. So let's get into the core science of what's really happening inside your brain every single night. Okay, so here's the most important thing to get your head around. Your brain isn't just a simple stopwatch. Think of it more like it's running a super sophisticated maintenance program overnight. It doesn't really care if you've been lying in bed for 8 hours. What it cares about is whether it has successfully completed all of its essential repair jobs. And those jobs, they happen in cycles. So, what is a sleep cycle, really? Well, just think of it as a 90-minute program that your brain runs on a loop all night long. Each cycle is made up of different stages, and every single stage has a very specific, very vital job to do for your mental and physical recovery. Now, check this out. As you can see, a pretty big chunk of your night is spent in what we call light sleep. But the real magic, the heavy lifting for your recovery, happens in those smaller but way more powerful slices: deep sleep and REM sleep. These two stages are what really determine whether you wake up feeling like $1,000,000 or completely drained. So let's break down these two powerhouses. During deep sleep, your body is in full-on physical repair mode. It's fixing tissues, strengthening your immune system, and releasing growth hormone. Then you've got REM sleep, which is kind of like a deep cleaning for your brain. It's processing emotions, locking in memories, and even boosting your creativity. You absolutely have to get enough of both to function at your peak. And this brings us right back to our 8 hour problem. See, if your sleep is constantly being interrupted by stress, a noise outside, or even that late night coffee, your brain gets yanked out of these critical recovery stages. It's something called fragmented sleep. And even if you're in bed for 8 hours, your brain never actually gets the deep restoration it needs. Okay, so now you get the why, it's time for the how. This next section is your actionable toolkit. 3 simple but incredibly powerful rules you can use to start sleeping smarter tonight. All right, rule number 1. This is the foundation for everything else, and it's all about consistency. The big idea here is to work with your body's natural internal clock, not against it. And that internal clock is your circadian rhythm. You can think of it as your body's master controller. It's in charge of your sleep-wake cycle, and it does that by managing the release of the sleepy hormone, melatonin. This comparison right here says it all. A random schedule completely throws your body clock for a loop, and your melatonin releases all over the place. But when you keep a consistent schedule, and yes, that includes weekends, you create a much smarter, more predictable clock. Your brain literally learns when it's time to release melatonin, helping you fall asleep fast and wake up feeling refreshed. Now, for rule number 2. And honestly, this one is a fantastic little biohack for getting rid of that morning grogginess for good. It's called the 90-minute rule. 90. That's the number. Just burn it into your brain. 90 minutes. Why? Because that's the average length of one complete sleep cycle. So, from now on, instead of just aiming for a random number of hours, start planning your sleep in blocks of 90 minutes. That might mean you shoot for 6 hours, or maybe 7.5. The goal is to set your alarm to go off at the end of a cycle, not in the middle of one. So why does this work so well? Well, waking up in the middle of a deep sleep cycle is what causes that heavy, foggy feeling known as sleep inertia. You know, when you feel like you can barely think. By waking up at the end of a cycle, when you're naturally in a much lighter stage of sleep, that transition to being awake feels smooth and effortless. And now for our final rule, which is a super easy to remember countdown for signaling to your brain that it's time to wind down. It's the 3-2-1 power down rule. Here's how it works. 3 hours before bed, no more heavy meals. Your body can't rest if it's busy digesting. 2 hours before bed, stop all work. Let your brain switch off from problem-solving mode. And the most important one, 1 hour before bed, No screens. That blue light from your phone or TV literally blocks melatonin production, telling your brain to stay awake. This routine sends a powerful signal to your whole body that it's time to rest. But sleeping smart isn't just about what you do at night. How you start your day is just as important for setting you up for all-day energy. So let's talk about your morning reset button. Think of this as your morning power-up kit. It's incredibly effective. First, get some sunlight as soon as you can. It activates serotonin to boost your mood and focus. Then, get some quick movement in. A few stretches, a quick walk, to release dopamine for natural energy. And finally, a splash of cold water on your face releases norepinephrine, which acts like your body's natural alarm clock, instantly clearing away any leftover brain fog. So we've covered the science and the rules. But to really master your sleep, there's one last thing, and it's a huge one. A fundamental shift in how you think about rest. It's time to stop seeing sleep as a weakness or some kind of waste of time.
You really have to let this idea sink in. Sleep isn't lost time. It's an active, high-performance state where your brain is working hard to repair, recharge, and prepare you to be at your absolute best.
And that's the real payoff. When you prioritize smart sleep, you're not just avoiding being tired, you are actively upgrading your brain. You're improving your focus, you're gaining control over your emotions, and you're sharpening your ability to make clear, smart decisions that can completely change your work, your relationships, and your entire life. It all starts with how you rest. So, I'll leave you with this one final thought. What could you actually achieve if your mind was truly unstoppable? The answer begins tonight.